Good afternoon. I hope you guys had an awesome Valentine's Day, a great week. Excited to chat with you again today about a new travel topic. Today I'm going to be talking about planning international trips. I had a question from someone recently about where to go if you're traveling internationally for the first time. So I wanted to share with you recommendations in today's video about places that you can go if you are going for the first time or maybe one of your first trips abroad. And I'll also be sharing with you some non-traditional places that you can consider. So you may have heard of a lot of places that are at the top of your list, but I want to maybe give you some things that you may not have thought of before to consider as a place for one of your first trips abroad. And before we dive in, I want to just give you a reminder. I'm teaching a class next week. It's called 5 Secrets to Achieving Your Travel Dreams in 2020. I'm super excited. There's a link to register in the description box, so I hope you can join me, and we'll be talking all about how to level up your travel game in 2020 and to overcome all of the things that have been holding you back. So it's going to be a great time. I'm excited. You can register with the link that's in the description box. So let's dive in to talking about travel destinations for first-timers. So what you want to look for in a destination if you're traveling abroad for the first time, I'd say I have 3 recommendations. The first thing would be a well-established tourism track there. You want to know that there have been plenty of other people that have come before you, and the reason that this is really helpful, well, for obvious reasons, there'll be more options for you in terms of booking tours and all those kinds of things, but also there's going to be more security because economically speaking, it makes sense for them to protect all the tourism dollars that are coming into that destination. So a lot of places, they rely really heavily on tourism. Once they become a popular destination, that is a big part of their economy. And so they will spend additional money to make sure that tourists are well taken care of, that it's secure and safe for them to come, because they don't want to get the reputation that it's dangerous for tourists to come there. So they'll spend and invest a lot more money in making sure that tourists are well taken care of. And the other thing, you'll be more likely to encounter English speakers. I'm assuming that since you're watching my video and I'm speaking English, that you're also an English speaker, so it will be helpful for you to have English speakers there. They'll be much more likely if there's established tourism. English is pretty much the international language for tourism, so if any country or destination it really has a large block of tourists coming there, there will be plenty of English speakers there to host you for accommodations and tours and things like that. So you're much more likely to encounter that if you pick a destination that has established tourism there. The next thing that you want to make sure that you find if you're picking a first-time destination is easy access to the things that you need. And this includes money, accommodations, and transportation being the top 3, in my opinion. With money, that means it's really easy for you to get to an ATM or a bank, and that if you're using a credit card, that it'll be very easy for you to find places that accept credit cards. There's a lot of places where they don't have the technology set up to be able to accept credit cards, or there's not plenty of ATMs for you to be able to easily access money. And so as a first timer, it can be a really big headache to try to figure out how to exchange money, where to go to do all of that. It's much, much easier if you can just go to a bank, withdraw money from an ATM, or exchange your money at the bank, and it just will make your life a whole lot easier. So you really want to make sure, since money is going to be a huge part of being able to do absolutely anything once you get there, that it's easy for you to access your money. The other thing I mentioned, accommodation. So make sure it's easy for you to book accommodations. For most places, this is traditionally pretty easy. You can access it before you get to your destination, but some places you can't access that information until you get there. And so it can be really stressful to try to figure out, once you arrive, where do I stay? I would recommend finding places where you can book those things beforehand online, or at least have a phone number, be able to call and set those things up beforehand, versus arriving and not knowing where you're going to stay and having to figure that out there and then. And then transportation, make sure that it's easy to get around. So whatever that might mean for you, if you want a private driver, if you want to be able to use Uber, public transportation, train system, make sure that you look to find out what does the transportation system look like. Most places now make it relatively easy in terms of finding taxis or Uber, so that makes your life a lot easier. And if you're comfortable with taking trains and subways, things like that, then make sure that the system there is reliable and that you'd be able to get from place to place with the public transportation system. Because another thing, I've been in places where the bus stop is just like, there's not actually a sign or anything that says that this is the bus stop. You just go there and there's like a crowd of people standing and they're like, yeah, this is the bus stop. And what time is the bus coming? Well, it might come in 10 minutes. It might come in an hour. You have no idea. As a first-time traveler, I would not recommend, relying on a system like that, because again, it can be stressful. So I would try to eliminate all of those stressful factors as much as possible so that you can really just enjoy the trip. And as you progress and you're more comfortable with the unknown, I would say then destinations where you don't necessarily have the reliability of established tourism track would be of more interest to start exploring. And the last thing that I would recommend if you're a first-timer or beginning traveler that's going international is to look for activities and sites that are of interest to you. What do you want to see? What do you want to do? And I don't think you should just follow the crowd and go there because everyone else that you know is going there, or maybe you went on Instagram and you saw a bunch of cool pictures. I'm looking at you, Bali. Everyone wants to go to Bali, or everyone wants to go to Tulum. And those are awesome places, don't get me wrong. I would totally recommend that if that's some place that you want to go to, go there. But make sure you do a little bit of research beforehand to find out, is it actually a place that you would have fun in? Are there things there that you want to do? Is it going to match the travel style of what you like to do? If you like adventure and action, or do you want relaxation and calm and quiet? Do you want a bunch of history? Do you want to walk around all day, or do you prefer to have, a more luxurious experience? So make sure that you do a little bit of research to find out what is that destination like before you choose it based on what you've seen from other people. Make sure that it's really a fit for the way that you travel and the experience that you want to have on your trip. And next I wanted to go over just a couple recommendations of places to go that you may not have thought of before, a little bit less traditional. Most people have heard of or are pretty familiar with places in North America or Western Europe and beautiful island destinations like the Caribbean or in the Pacific Ocean. So I wanted to also give you some options of other amazing places to consider in other parts of the world. The first, I'm going to kind of go over them by region. So you can think about where would you potentially want to go if you were like, I want to explore this part of the world, but I have no idea where to start. So the first region that I wanted to chat about is Eastern Europe. So pretty much everything beyond like Germany and Austria and all of those places. If you go further east, there are a lot of really cool destinations there. If you're a first timer, I would recommend checking out Czech Republic, Hungary, and Croatia. All of them really, really safe. They have tons to do there if you're interested in history or art. If you want to be by the ocean, Croatia is absolutely amazing. It's on the Adriatic, and the ocean there is so blue and clean and amazing. Highly recommend it. If you're looking at Asia and you're trying to look for destinations there, a couple to consider would be Thailand, Japan, and Singapore. Singapore is really awesome because there's a lot of English speakers there. It's the official language, one of the official languages is English, so you'll be able to easily get around if you're an English speaker there. Thailand and Japan also have lots of tourism there, so very, very easy to get around if you're a tourist, and lots of awesome, cool things to do. If you're looking at South America, I think a lot of people don't traditionally consider South America as a first-timer destination. And especially the thing that I find interesting is being in the United States and in North America, we're relatively close to South America, but I don't find that many people who choose that as a place to vacation. So if you're thinking about it, I would highly, highly recommend checking out South America. Some places that I like for first-timers would be Peru, Chile, and Argentina. Chile and Argentina are super, super awesome. I loved both of them so much. Amazing food and wine, lots of things to do. in both of them, and also really safe in my experience, and from what I've read about just generally speaking overall, their safety. Chile and Argentina are really, really high, really stable countries, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. And I think they'd be great options for a first-time traveler. If you're looking at the Middle East and North Africa, some options to consider would be Egypt, Morocco, and Turkey. I'm a huge fan of all of them. They were absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the history there is incredible, very Instagrammable. If you want to take some really cool pictures, all of them have really, really awesome sites to check out. So I think those are great ones to consider for a first timer. If you're going to travel into sub-Saharan Africa, some options would be Tanzania, Namibia, and Botswana. Again, really safe places, lots to see. Tanzania has incredible resorts and ocean views. It's like people may not think of sub-Saharan Africa as like a resort and kind of tropical vacation destination, but you can find those there as well. Namibia and Botswana, incredible natural wonders. If you're thinking about going on safari, I went on safari in Botswana. It's incredible there. A third of the country is actually protected. So there's so much wildlife there. You've never seen so many elephants in your life. It's absolutely incredible. So those are really great ones to consider for a first timer. And then the last region would be Central America. If you are traveling to Central America, some options: Mexico, Belize, and Costa Rica. The nice thing with Belize, again, another English-speaking country, so easier to get around. Costa Rica has a really well-established tourism track there. Same with Mexico. So those are good ones to consider if you're a first timer and you're thinking about traveling into Central America. So I just wanted to give you some recommendations of other places to travel besides the places you may have already been considering. Places in Europe are really great also if you're thinking about going to Europe for your first trip. I loved, for my first time abroad, I went to where did I go? I went to the UK and France and Spain, Italy, and Greece, and it was amazing. And I'm super happy that I picked that as my first trip abroad, but I also wasn't as familiar with a lot of other options of places to go. It was a little bit more, a little scarier for me in terms of considering what are those other options. And nobody had made recommendations to me of other places to consider. So I wanted to give you that option of places that you may not have thought of before for your first trip abroad. And if you have any other suggestions, if you've gone somewhere that you think would be a really great place for somebody who's a first timer or beginning traveler, please drop the recommendations into the comments and let us know other places that would be great for a first-time traveler. And again, one more time, I'm going to let you know I have my class next week. I'm super excited. 5 Secrets to Achieving Your Travel Dreams in 2020. So if any of those places sounded like an awesome, awesome place that you'd be interested in visiting and you want to figure out how to make that happen this year, then please join me. You can find the link to register in the description box, and we'll be talking all about how to level up your travel game in 2020 and make travel happen. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping that you have an awesome weekend. Hopefully you have a long 3-day weekend and you'll be able to just relax and enjoy. Have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye.